Okay, hello again. And I'm going to get into this subject properly in a bigger video, but I just wanted to do a quick one to let you know the two different models there are when it comes to selling supplements. And if you like a kind of model, but more a payment option, I'll explain. So when we start a supplement company and we're looking to find a product, we've got really two options. The first option would be to sell what we call a custom formula. The second would be to sell what we call private label formulas. Now, custom is just that, a custom formula written by you or for you by someone such as a nutritionist or a formula writer that's unique to you and the business. Private label is the jargon, the industry term for wholesale. And these are essentially pre-made products without labels, and you simply supply the label or have the manufacturer design you a label. And whilst you may have the same product as the competitor, it is simply a case of who's got the better brand, who's got the sexiest looking bottle, and who can do the marketing best, i.e. who can make the most noise in the marketplace. Now, if you're anything like me, you would have thought on day one, oh, those private labels, wholesale, that sounds like it's for all those filthy peasants, right? Ugh, get away. Custom only, baby. I was like a elitist snob about it, but I actually came to realize over a couple of years that custom isn't always the way to go. So let's go through the pros and cons. Start with the custom formula. Now you might think first and foremost, Mark, I need a custom formula because just that's what the world wants, right? Well, here's the thing. The world don't actually know what they want because the world doesn't know that there is a thing called custom and a thing called private label. I think 99% of the supplement buyers out there assume that nearly all the products out there are made by individual laboratories with scientists with a PhD and a receptionist and all the rest of it. They have no clue that 90% of the supplements in our supermarket shelves and in our chemists and pharmacies are coming out of the same 4 or 5 factories. So believe it or not, the average person just assumes everything's a custom, unique formula designed for a problem. They have no understanding that there's a lot of products out there with the same supplement facts label and the exact same ingredients. So really the custom and formula isn't that special, especially because the average client, the average human being couldn't tell us the difference between a carbohydrate and a protein. Never mind flip round the back of the bottle and start, alpha GPC choline, phosphatidylserine. Hang on a minute. I think I've seen this formula being sold by someone else. No one does that. There's only two industries, two markets, two niches really that know their supplement facts. And that would be arguably the bodybuilding industry. A lot of the people in that world know what they're looking for when it comes to grams of protein and how much creatine or L-arginine they're looking for in their pre-workout, etc. And the second market would be the nootropics industry, the brain enhancement industry, where those people, they don't just know what they're looking for. They don't just know what these ingredients are. They know what they're looking for, and they're actually reading the supplement facts. So if you were to do bodybuilding or nootropics, maybe you might need the custom formula, but for the joint formula, the average, memory formula, male enhancement, libido booster, mood, for these things, we don't need a custom formula. The only time, bearing in mind the client doesn't know the difference, the only time we would need a custom formula is if you had found, through perhaps your own illness and research and journey and experiments, you had found and created a set of ingredients that definitely got you a result and you needed to share it with the world. I met a client, a lady who had extreme period cramps and pains, and her words, not mine, I wouldn't dare. Her words were, when I have my period, Mark, I am a monster, and my husband has to leave the house and stay with his mother for 3-4 days. And this got so bad, she tried everything, but she started at the end of the line when there was no more help from the healthcare system. She needed to take matters into her own hands, potentially face a divorce. So she started researching, testing, and after about an 18-month, period of time, she had this smoothie type thing she had made that eradicated all period pains, any mood fluctuations, anything that was holding her back. And she shared it with friends and family. And the ladies that were also experiencing period pains and uncomfortable periods, etc., menstruation cramps, they said it works. That lady has really no option. She now needs a custom manufacturer. And if she hasn't got the money for that, and we'll come into that in a moment, what she needs to do is find an investor, because she has, through her own perseverance, research, and hard work, potentially found a formula like nothing out there. Her words, because she had literally tried everything. So that lady needs a custom formula. But again, if we're doing joints and erectile dysfunction, memory, clarity, we can probably get away with a private label. Now, why would we want it? Well, I'll tell you. Well, before we go into the cons with the custom, let's just talk about one other positive with a custom. I think with a custom formula, if you were to try and sell or exit from the company, you would probably want at least, I think an investor would want to see at least the hero product, one of those big key sellers being a custom formula. It doesn't matter if it's backed up or surrounded by private label formulas, providing they're all sort of coming under that same niche. But an investor will want to see that. Not too many investors will be happy to pay you the sort of change, a chunk of change that you're looking for, if they know that even they themselves could just hire a manager and go to wholesaler A and just get the exact same products and just build a maybe even a better version than what you've got. So the custom formula, it's not as special as we think unless you've identified a formula that's really helping with a problem that's just not being addressed out there, or you're looking to exit the business. Now, let's just go to the cons here, because the cons with the custom formula are basically this one big thing, and that is the minimum order quantities. When you go to get a custom formula, they know that they're going to have to possibly order in ingredients they've not had in stock, they don't have, and they could end up with excess stock. So often these manufacturers will need to buy 15 kilograms. I don't know what that is in pounds, probably 22 or something. Anyway, 15 kilogram sack of an ingredient just for your formula, and they might only use 3 or 4 kilograms, which means now they've now got 20 kilos or whatever excess left. So all that cost has got to be factored in. They need to shut down part of the production line for a week, maybe even a little bit longer, while they make your formula, get your bottles on the conveyor belt, put the labels on and everything. And then if they're GMP certified, if this laboratory, this facility where your custom formula is being made, if they're regulated by the FDA, and we have a regulated facility, a GMP certified facility, then the FDA rules say that once that product is completed, around a handful, 10, 12 of those bottles must be sent off to an independent third-party tester to check for contaminants, to make sure nothing got into the formula, allergen, shellfish that's not disclosed on the label, etc. So these guys, when they're going to go and do all this for you, they're nearly always wanting 1,000 bottles minimum order quantity, 1,000 months supplies, a 30-day supply times 1,000. Now, if you've got a drink or a powder product and you need a flavoring, that's 1,000 for one flavor. You want a second flavor, you need to go and buy another 1,000. There's no splitting your 1,000 minimum order quantity down into 2 flavors, so it can get quite expensive. And that's what sometimes holds people back, but they give up and they say, well, I can't afford to do this. I got excited at $8 a bottle, but they want $8,000. And I would say, whoa, before you go anywhere, why don't we have a quick look at the private label formulas out there? Because 9 times out of 10, a lot of these formulas are just as powerful as a custom. Sometimes, and I've even found this, they can be more powerful because of the bulk buying power. When I went and made a male enhancement, I made a formula. It was expensive. It was $15 a bottle, and it was okay. It was a reasonable seller. By the way, a good product is not one that sells. Anyone can sell anything once. A good product is one that sells again. That is, the customer comes back of their own accord, unmarketed, unsolicited, and says, I need to get another month's supply. This stuff's great. So it wasn't a great seller. Everyone had a little go, the promise of more pleasure and all this great stuff. But ultimately, the reorders weren't there. I started looking at private label just out of interest. I was weak in that area and didn't fully understand it. So I'm going through all the catalogs, and I'm starting to see male enhancement formulas that look better than mine. And instead of $15 a bottle on the custom and 1,000, this one company let me have 50 bottles, and it was like $5.50 a bottle. Less than $300, and I'm up and running with a new product, and I don't have to write a check for $15,000. I started selling that one, and that was a good product. The wholesalers private label male enhancement formula was a great product because the reorders were there. People kept coming back. Now, imagine if these guys are building 200,000 bottles at a time, they're going to get 60-70% of some of these ingredients. When we go to the custom guy and they need to order just one sack or something for us, we're paying an absolute premium. So you can, with private label, actually have a much stronger formula, or a formula with better value, better quality, more potent ingredients for less money and a lot less. So what we could do is go private label and just set up, we don't need to discredit or discount the custom formula. I always believe if you don't have the money right now, there's nothing more satisfying than building your own formula. I'm 5'8" tall, but I walk about 7 foot because I've helped a load of people around the world and they've told me. And also I've written a custom formula and it feels kind of good for a guy who didn't even finish high school. So I highly recommend doing it. It's highly rewarding. And I'm going to do another video, but only if I get a like on this one. I will do another video showing you, I'm sorry, I've gone out of focus here, showing you how to write a custom formula. But I think what we need to do is just find a niche, find a group of people. It could be anti-aging, it could be women's health over 40, menopause, etc. It could be anything we want. And then we just got to go and find the private label supplements to slot in. So if we decide, well, I want to help the gym market, I'm a personal trainer, I've got some muscles, I know the language, then we don't have to go and build another pre-workout and spend $20,000 on it. And it's probably going to be identical to the stuff we can get from the private guys. We can go over and just buy 50 tubs. We're up from running. Build that base, get the customers to fall in love with the product because we've gone out with our marketing to the right market, using the right medium with the right message, and we've pulled people in and they've bought the product. And then what we can do in 6 to 12 months when the income's there and we're not so stressed and the company's bedded down and we're pretty confident about everything. I'm so sorry about this focus. Then we can bring in the custom formula later. Version 2, add an ingredient, up a milligram or two here and there, and go back to the existing customer base and say, hey guys, we've built a better mousetrap. Introducing version 2. And if it's better, more potent, they're only going to love it. So custom formula, it's a great way to go. But I think for the financial commitment, I think it's just too much for some people on day one, especially if you're not a seasoned marketer and you, like me, on day one have to figure this stuff out. I love pressure and I perform best under pressure, but not the pressure of 1,000 bottles owing me 15 grand on day one, having never made $1 online yet, with expiry dates ticking away on the bottom of the bottle and the wife tripping over them every 5 minutes. That's not the sort of pressure I need. So maybe consider starting off with private label, 50 bottles minimum order quantity with some of the companies in America. If you're looking at the UK, I think 300 is the lowest on the private label, but plenty of great formulas. And sometimes those private label formulas can be as good as, if not better than, a custom formula you could build because they're getting so much discount on the ingredients because of the bulk buying and manufacturing. I did mention at the beginning, there is a sort of third model, but it's just more of a way of paying for it. And that's the dropship model. Now, the dropship model usually relates to private label supplement. Well, always relates to private label. And what that is with the drop shipping, you basically don't buy any stock. So what you would do, instead of saying, I'd like 50 bottles of the joint formula, what you'll do instead is pay a monthly subscription, and that will give you access to, say, 10 products on a list of 100. If you want 25, you up your monthly subscription. It might be $100, could be $200 a month to get access to 25. But the good news is you're not writing big checks to buy stock. What happens instead is you'll design the labels, or you'll have the manufacturer design the labels for you for the products you want. And of course, you don't buy any stock, so there's no labels going on any bottles until you sell. What happens is those labels will sit on the hard drive of the shipping company, the drop shippers hard drive, and every morning with their website linked to yours, they'll wake up, check your orders. Okay, great. They've done 7 proteins, and they'll print 7 labels and stick them on. And we got 3 of the, the post-workout formula. Okay, 3 on bottles, and they go out the same day, and then you'll get invoiced 7 days later. So really not a model as such, because it is private label when we drop ship, but it's just a nice low-cost way of starting off, baby steps, without writing checks and committing to buying stock. Also, if you were to go drop ship, because you can actually have up to 10, 20 different products, you could, at little to no cost, start building out a store. And as long as your products were sort of related to each other, so they fell under the anti-aging niche or the men's health, women's health, they designed for athletes, or you did fat loss, you were the fat loss specialist with a nighttime fat burner, a daytime fat burner, etc., an appetite suppressant. As long as our private, what you don't want to do is go and find a vitamin D and a memory formula, an erection formula, and a pre-workout out, because really those four are serving four different niches. And we don't really want that. We want people coming to our store and going, okay, these people have everything I need for my age group or my ailment or whatever it might be. So dropship is an option for you when you're out there and you've made the decision between custom or private label. If it's custom, great. Get saving those pennies, but also don't be put off if you can't afford it right now. Get that formula fleshed out. Again, if I get some likes on this damn video, I'll tell you how to write a formula. I've got 16 out there selling and they make me a damn load of money. So hit the damn like button, for God's sake. I'm ready to give all the info, but not till I get a thank you. So get that custom formula written, get it up on the wall, and that's it. That's goal. It's milestone 2 or 3. We don't need to bite off more than we can chew on day one. Start with private label, consider drop shipping if you're on a really low budget or want to save most of that money for the marketing and the branding. And then bring the custom formula in later. I've been Mark. You've been awesome. I hope that's been helpful. And I've just literally held the door for you. So if you wouldn't mind, just tip your head with a little hit of that like button. You don't need to subscribe. I'm going to be dropping this stuff, and it's up to you if you want to miss it. But I think you'd be foolish if you're really serious about starting a supplement company. Because my 10 years, I've burnt some money, made some mistakes, and I think now I'm at a point where I can best guide people. And I'm happy to, should I see a little bit of love back. So let me know these videos are hitting with you. Hit that like button, and I'll see you for the next one real soon. Maybe. All the best. Cheers.